time.
Good afternoon and welcome to The Roberts Show. I'm so glad you tuned in today. We're going to have a good show for you. And you know, as I always say, call a neighbor, call a friend, let them know that The Roberts Show is on the air. And meanwhile, you go to that refrigerator and you get that pop, that bag of chips or whatever you want to snack on. Because I don't want you to miss anything or any part of the show today. Because I have a great show. I have with me today Elder Richard Ross. And, you know, he's a great soloist all over the United States of America. He's been in some places outside the country. So he's going to be my guest today. And, you know, we're going to have a really good show. You know, I'm celebrating my birthday today. Today is my 69th birthday. And I'm just glad about it. Just glad to be here and glad that God has prospered me to see 69 years. Because my mother, nor my father, nor my oldest brother made it to this point. So I'm just glad that God saw fit to let me be here today to host this show for you. So in a few minutes, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, Elder Ross is going to be with us, and we're going to talk about his life and his legacy as being one of the gospel greats. And we're going to open the phone lines also later on, and I'm going to give you those numbers right now. It's 313-868. 0342 868 0351 868 4336. So those are the numbers. I'll give them back to you, and you can see them at the bottom of your screen. So we're going to take a commercial break right now, and then when we come back, our guests will be with us. So meanwhile, go to that refrigerator. Call a neighbor, call a friend.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
As you can see, I have a new logo and I have a new backdrop thanks to my new producer, Caleb Foster. Caleb, thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Henry, for what you had to do to get this up today. I really appreciate that. So I have with me at this time Elder Richard Ross. And I want to thank you for coming to the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
No, I'm honored. I'm the one that's honored.
No, I really am. I'm grateful. But I want to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
And we love your community, so I'm just honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you. I'm honored to have you. You know, Richard is the minister of music at the church that I attend, where we go to the Community Church of Christ, where our illustrious pastor is Reverend R.A. Cranford.
Yes.
Shout out to him today.
Yes.
And for all that he does. You know, we just got through having this great, big, beautiful bazaar at our church on Saturday, you know. And then yesterday they took me out for dinner.
Yes.
And we just had a wonderful time.
Yeah,
a lot of
day.
pictures were taken and everything. So, you know, but the show is about you today.
Well, I appreciate
So I want you to
being
tell
here.
us a little about your upbringing and how you got into music.
Wow. You know, my mother is all I could think about.
Okay.
My mom was a singer. She pursued singing for a little while, but it was always music around the house. It was always music in my family. My grandmother always had music, and over the years, I would just listen to my mother, just literally in the kitchen. She had this melodic voice.
Okay.
And it would just, we come from a situation where it was kind of mixed. It was a blessing, and it was kind of crazy. You know, everybody's got a story.
Oh, most definitely.
And in the times of going through, my mother would always be in the kitchen singing this one song that stuck with all of us. I had two sisters and a brother. My brother's passed, but she would always sing Grace.
Okay.
And I mean, she would sing it in the kitchen, and
Well, sing a little bar.
oh my God, it just says Grace, 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 Grace. His grace is sufficient for me. That was that was the song.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, see how easy you did
Yeah,
that?
right.
Oh, my God.
Early.
Yes,
It's
yes.
early, but she was a part of me wanting to sing,
Okay.
and my sisters could sing, and my dad could play guitar. My dad came from a gospel family. My grandmother on my dad's side was a missionary
Okay.
who became a pastor
All right.
from the Churches of God in Christ. And my grandmother on my mom's side was a missionary. So the gospel thing was there. The music was there.
From the start.
Yes. And I fell in love with my aunt singing, which is Linda Ross.
Okay.
I think I may have been maybe 6 years old, 5 years
wow,
old,
wow.
and would hear a 16-year-old girl just blurting out powerful, and it would make me cry in church.
Wow.
And so that's when I knew I had a connection with wanting to sing. So that's the beginning of it for me, as I can recall. And as time would go on, my grandmother would have me standing in a folding wooden chair. And now you know where this is old, when we can go back, where they had a microphone. They don't, now they got sound systems in the
Right,
church.
right.
It was a microphone with a little box to the side, and they turned it
That's
up.
going way
You
back.
come on now, and they turned it up, and they had me singing, "I'm on the battlefield for my Lord."
Wow, wow.
And so I just started loving to sing. My dad tried to get us to play instruments, and I did a little violin and stuff like that. But once they kept having me to do singing, and I was getting, as a kid, you get the joy of this attention.
Okay.
So I threw that violin away. I was like, I don't want to do that. I like singing in front of the people and getting the response.
Okay.
And the response, not so much as attention, but the response on how people were feeling when I would sing.
Okay, okay.
Not to get the attention because I wanted to be seen. It was like I was getting, I literally, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I would get warm inside singing to people because they were saying, wow, this kid can sing.
Okay, but that would be called the spirit.
Yeah, right. At that time, I didn't know because I was about 5 or 6 years old.
But have you had any formal training?
I did. Later in life, I would go to, I would come back. We lived in Nashville, Tennessee for a little while.
Oh, okay.
And by the time I was,
I always thought you were from Detroit.
no, my family is, we moved, I think I was 11 years old when we moved to Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And Pentecostal down there for a little while, and a lot of times you so used to seeing the, excuse my expression, but the white people in one form of gospel. But I think sometimes they get caught up in Pentecostal more so than the African American
definitely.
experience.
Oh, yes,
So that moved me. But to make a long story short, I forgot the question you asked me, just that quick from running my mouth so much.
Formal training.
Yeah, the formal training came from when I went to high school. And my teacher, she's gone on, her name was Jacqueline Allen. And I remember the first year.
Jacqueline Allen.
Jacqueline Allen from Cooley High School.
Did she ever play at a church?
She might have, but I think she was more into formal training. So it's a possibility. But she heard my voice when we started our first semester of school. I came from Nashville to go into the 10th grade here, and she heard my voice and she said, "Oh, you got something." But at that time, with her being so caught up in the formal training, she didn't really diss gospel, but she was like, "We're not going to train you in no gospel right now.
Okay.
Your voice is going to be trained in the operatic."
Oh, okay.
And that's how I ended up really expanding even more, I felt, to really reach out to music, of singing even more. And from that point on, I give glory to God because I experienced some wonderful things to the point where I got a chance to be used and have opportunities I would have never dreamed of. She put me into recitals and ended up winning recitals. across the state.
Okay.
I could go on and on, but it caused me to really learn how to properly sing and how to stand and how to project my voice. And so along with us having the gospel training, she was just instrumental in me really having a love for all kind of music and the proper way of singing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
But now, what schools did you really attend though here?
Just Cooley High School. Oh, I take it back. Before we moved to Tennessee, I was Doty Elementary and Ralph J. Bunch.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so Doty Elementary was on Calvert and Hamilton, and then Ralph J. Bunch was on the east side.
Okay, this is the history.
Come
part.
on now.
Coming
Yeah, I know
out.
one thing. I love it. And Ralph J. Bunch was on the east side. And so that's the schools I went to. From Ralph J. Bunch in Detroit, then we moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I think it was like 72.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Now, you have sung in various choirs and various groups. You've even had your own group at one particular time.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know a little something about some of those groups that you performed with.
Wow. Oh, wow. Well, definitely, I came from. I need to go back to the churches because
Okay,
that's really
that's
I got.
fine, that's
You know,
fine.
my grandmother had her church, which is Christ Temple Church of Holiness.
Okay.
So, power pack. All I can tell you is I can name some names when you talk about history who came through the church. You know, Gregory Troy was one of them. Rudolph Stanfield was another person.
Oh,
Vanessa
okay.
Bell Armstrong, radio host mogul, Bertha Harris. And so in that church, when we would have evening services, that's when I would get a chance to go
And
to
where was the
church.
church located?
We at that time, I remember we were on Grand River.
On Grand River?
Not
Okay.
too far from West Grand Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
And that little bitty church was next to a bar. The people at the bar would come next door to Todd. They wouldn't come to church, but I guess we would be in competition with their music.
Okay.
And our church would be in competition, not so to speak, with them, and we would be literally having church. And so that was the church I came from, Church of Holiness, Christ Temple. Mother Ross was the pastor. And then later I ended up joining Bountiful Blessings, Detroit chapter.
Okay.
And that's where everything began to really expand for gospel music.
Okay.
And me getting into it. I met a young man named Ricky Carruthers, who was over the music at that time. And there was a young lady named Carolyn Kelly who would take me with them.
All right.
And I think I might have been about 22, 21 years old. And I got an opportunity to hear the Michael Fletcher Chorale.
Oh, wow. They just celebrated 30-some-odd years on yesterday.
Yes, and it was moving to me last
Okay.
night. It was just, we'd be all day on that. But that's where I got my start as far as getting to the gospel music thing. And I heard them sing and the Thomas Whitfield Company sing.
Okay.
And it blew my mind.
Wow.
I thought that was, to me, the most powerful singing in the world. And the people that were in the Michael Fletcher Chorale was people that were a part of my church.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't think I wanted to be a part of it until I heard them sing. And they asked me to audition. And the way I auditioned was not through the formal audition. We were at a restaurant
Wow. You sung in the
and
restaurant.
sang in the restaurant. And they told me, well, you don't need no audition. But I went to a formal audition, and that's how I got started. I think it had to be 1984, 85.
So when was Richard Rapture?
Richard Ross and Rapture.
Yeah, when was that conceived?
I'm going to say 1990 or 1991.
Okay.
And it consisted of, everybody knows, vocalist, soprano extraordinaire, legend, Louise McCord
Oh, okay.
Williams,
All right.
Kelly Jones, and Carla Carr Freeman, and Kim James and Erica Gardner were the singers
All right,
at that time. It was another young lady I forgot. But anyway, they came in 91. And it came out of me really wanting to try to do something even more besides just a Michael Fletcher Chorale, which was inspirational in me doing what I did with the group.
So how long did that group survive?
I'm gonna say a good 10 years.
A good 10
About
years?
10 years.
So you don't ever think about getting a reunion together?
So
and,
so many people keep asking me, and the Lord has not led me at the moment.
okay, because they were a good group.
It-
I heard them once.
Wow.
Once. I came to, there was a concert right over on, what is it? Hoover and,
Gunston.
yes.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
The church right there on
Yes,
the corner.
yes.
I came there
Wow.
because I lived in that neighborhood at that particular
Okay,
time.
wow.
And I had seen on the billboard that Richard
Get outta
Richard
here.
Ross and Rapture was going to be there.
Oh, man.
So I didn't have anything to do that particular Sunday afternoon, so I came in there, and I was so blessed by what I heard and what I saw.
Oh, wow.
Tremendously
Wow. Wow,
wonderful.
wow.
But you're such a great singer. You've traveled all over, all over. You've blessed a lot of people.
I would like to think so.
Oh yeah,
I really
oh,
do.
yeah. You have.
I
You
really
have.
would
Your
like to think
voice.
so.
Your voice. Look how you project a community
Yeah.
and the things you do to bring us out.
Mm-hmm,
You know. So you're doing a great job. A great job. We're gonna get ready to go to a commercial break,
Okay,
Ross.
okay.
And then when we come back, we're gonna talk a little more about
Okay.
your life and what you're gonna be doing in the future and
Okay.
things of that nature.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a commercial break, and as I always say, go to that refrigerator. Get that pop, get that beverage, get some chips, get a sandwich, and call a neighbor, call a friend, and let them know that the Roberts Show is on the air.
Wow.
I don't want you to miss anything. And when you come back, we're going to open the phone lines. You might have a question you want to ask Elder Ross, or you might just want to wish me a happy birthday.
Right.
So when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to open up the phone line. So until then, we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere now. Don't touch that dial. Leave it right there.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Okay, welcome back. As you know, I have Elder Richard Ross here with me, legendary Richard Ross,
Wow.
and with sings all over the place, just got through celebrating with the Michael Fletcher Chorale on yesterday and their 30-some year anniversary and everything, and understand that it was a great success. I was not there because I was out celebrating my birthday.
Yeah.
They took me out to dinner, and it was like 25, 30 of us
Wow.
that were there, and we just
Wow.
had such a wonderful time. So, I'm going to open the phone lines at this time. Once again, the numbers are 868-0342, 868-0351, 868-4336. You might have a question for Elder Ross, or you might just want to wish me a happy birthday. So our phone lines are open at this time. Elder Ross, so you're the minister of music at the Community Church of Christ?
Yes. Proudly so.
Proudly so.
Yes.
So how long have you had that office position?
I've been a part of the church almost 10 years, and since 2012 or 13. Yeah, I've been a part of the ministry about 10 years, and then the opportunity of becoming a minister of music of our church since 2012, 13. And so I do everything I can to add and be an asset to the ministry to help to prepare for the Word of God for that service.
Okay.
And a lot of other things. So I'm enjoying what I do.
Oh, well, that's
I got
good.
a passion for what I do because I want to make sure we're delivering a good sound and a good fellowship in our music to draw, to minister, and to uplift. Yeah,
Because we just had a concert,
we did. Wow,
and it's Ashes,
Beauty for Ashes.
Beautiful
That's
Ashes.
it, yeah, Beauty for
How
Ashes.
did you come up with that particular title?
Pastor had been preaching so much regarding us. Pastor Ricky Cranford, by the way, had been preaching so much in regards to us not allowing our issues to keep us down, and so and not looking like what we go through. And so on many occasions, we've seen God use people in the midst of us going through.
Okay.
And so it's in Isaiah. And I got it out of the book of Isaiah because reading it, it talks about, God will give you beauty for your ashes. So whatever you go through, God will turn it around for good. And that's how I got it.
All right.
And so that's what I wanted. And I thought it was an appropriate name for us celebrating our church anniversary as well. And we had such an array of gifts and talents at our church. So with that being said, I said, you know what, that'd be a good name for our event. And I wanted to try to carry it on as a tradition. So as the years get later, it becomes bigger and bigger. That's what I got it from.
It was a wonderful affair. It really was.
It was a blessing.
Because not only the choir, but it was the other auxiliaries within the church and the music ministry that also participated in this. So it was a great affair.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for being my guest today.
Oh, I'm grateful for being here.
Oh, I'm glad to have had you. Caller, I'm really sorry that I messed up with the call, but Richard will be back with us, and you'll be able to call and ask that question again.
Okay.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for watching our show today. I want to give a shout-out to all of those that called me, that text me, that wished me a happy birthday, all the gifts and everything that I received. I thank you so much because, you don't have to be nice to people. And I just appreciate everybody for everything that you did. And so this has been our show for today. And, I won't be with you on the 4th Monday because it's Christmas. So I won't be here, but I will be here on the 2nd Tuesday in January for the new year. So once again, shout out to Caleb. Thank you, Caleb, so much for the new backdrop and the opening logo. I thank you so much. And then we'll see you in January. So we're signing off now. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.
So